October 2025. Humanity stands at a peculiar threshold, gazing outward from our pale blue dot, united by a singular, burning question that currently has no answer.
We live in the age of information, yet right now, regarding the most significant astronomical event of our lifetimes, we are profoundly, frustratingly blind. The interstellar object designated 3I/Atlas has just completed its historic close approach to the red planet, Mars. It was the perfect photo opportunity. We have a flotilla of our most advanced eyes orbiting Mars. NASA, ESA, and others had all pledged that they would take observations.
Instead, we got silence. A deafening, bureaucratic, inexplicable silence.
Whether it is due to protocol or a decision made behind closed doors, the result is the same.
We are completely in the dark.
What we do have speaks volumes. It comes not from our most powerful assets, but from a robot designed to look at rocks, not comets in the void.
It required the brilliant, obsessive work of amateur astronomers back on Earth
to take that raw, messy data and pull the signal from the noise.
And there it was. Not a high-definition structure, but a ghost.
A faint, diffuse cloud against the backdrops of the cosmos. It was real, and it was exactly where it was expected to be. In the vacuum of official information, of course, speculation runs rampant. An image of Phobos, Mars's moon of fear, mistakenly fueled a frenzy of alien craft theories.
But now, that small window of observation has closed.
This is the most precarious moment in human history, to be blind. We are not just losing sight of a rock, we are losing sight of an anomaly as it approaches its moment of maximum stress. Perihelion, its closest approach to the sun. Will it be an ordeal to be survived? Or is it a trigger, waiting to be pulled? This silence
Is about to be broken.
October 29th, 2025. Humanity's direct eyes may be blind, but our indirect ones are wide open.
The Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, a sentinel staring into the furnace, is our only hope of catching a glimpse.
The science teams are looking for a faint smudge, perhaps the chaotic outgassing of a dying comet.
It is expected to be a footnote, a predictable blip in the data stream. At 11:42 Coordinated Universal Time, the footnote writes its own chapter. Without warning, it erupts. But it is not the chaotic bloom of a disintegrating comet. It is a single, silent, impossible supernova in miniature. An energy signature that is focused, clean, and profoundly artificial.
Then, as the light fades, an image resolves that will forever alter the course of human history. An impossibly intricate, geometrically perfect nebula of fragments.
In a control room at Goddard Space Flight Center, an astronomer speaks, her voice trembling. It's not a breakup. The dispersal is uniform. The velocity vectors, they're not random.
The world's supercomputers are immediately set to the task, calculating the trajectories of the swarm. The first results are so nonsensical they are dismissed as instrument error.
The computers run the calculations again and again.
The results do not change. The fragments are not behaving according to the laws of orbital mechanics.
They are not coasting, they are flying.
It takes less than an hour for the horrifying, beautiful, undeniable truth to emerge from the data.
The trajectories of the thousands of fragments are not spreading apart. They are converging.
A young technician at a facility in Darmstadt, Germany, pushes back from his console.
He looks at his superior, unable to form a complete sentence. Sir, all of them. All of the trajectories.
They have a destination.
The interstellar object had not simply flown by Mars. It had surveyed it. It had calculated its position. It had used the sun's immense gravity for a final course correction before deploying its cargo. Humanity was no longer a passive observer of a celestial curiosity. The old question, what is 3I/Atlas, was now obsolete. The new question, the only one that mattered, was far more terrifying.
The journey from the Sun to Mars is a matter of days. For humanity, it is a period of suspended
Earth-based radio telescopes, usually listening for faint whispers from distant galaxies, are now aimed at the approaching swarm. They hear nothing.
The swarm is completely silent. A ghost fleet, moving with unnerving purpose.
On Mars, our robotic emissaries become the frontline correspondents for the most significant event in history.
The orbiters, the rovers, they are no longer geological surveyors. They are war reporters, waiting for the first wave to hit.
On the fourth day after the perihelion event, it begins.
The first impact is not a violent explosion. The high-rise camera witnesses it in stunning, chilling detail.
It is a cool, ethereal light, as if the object is converting its own mass into luminous energy. Instead of gouging a crater into the ochre soil, the object seems to slow down.
Upon contact, there is no spray of ejecta. The object simply dissolves.
It leaves behind a dark, circular patch of ground. But new readings appear on the MRO's spectrometers.
The soil composition at the site is changing, actively.
Then, the main swarm arrives. What was once a clear sky becomes a canvas of descending lights. Thousands of impacts pepper the entire planet, from the highest peaks to the deepest canyons.
The rover's microphones, designed to capture the whisper of Martian winds, record the event.
It is not a cacophony of explosions, but a strange, resonant hum that seems to vibrate through the very ground.
It is the sound of a planet being systematically, gently, and thoroughly inoculated.
But the most profound discovery comes from its suite of atmospheric sensors. The changes are thermodynamically impossible.
At each impact point, a localized plume of gas is released. The sensors detect bursts of free oxygen, molecular nitrogen, and argon, the very building blocks of a breathable atmosphere. It's as if each fragment is a self-contained terraforming bomb. For 12 hours, the rain continues. The planet is methodically peppered with this alien cargo. When the final streak of light fades, everyone knows that Mars is no longer the world it was just one day before.
An Italian scientist, watching the atmospheric data scroll across a screen, removes her glasses.
They're not destroying the planet, she whispers. They're watering it.
It's a Genesis event. We are witnessing the first day of creation for a new world.
The seeds have been planted.
The silence that follows is not an ending,
but the quiet, patient pause before the germination.
In the immediate aftermath of the seeding rain, Mars falls silent once more, but it is a different kind of silence.
It is not the sterile quiet of a dead world, but the charged, expectant stillness of a petri dish awaiting a culture to bloom.
The planet is fundamentally changing, and it is doing so at a speed that defies every known law of planetary science. This new, denser atmosphere acts like a planetary blanket. The planet is retaining the sun's warmth.
The daily temperature swings, once extreme, begin to stabilize.
The second, more visual sign of change comes from the polar ice caps.
They are not just melting. A chemical catalyst, delivered by the fragments, is actively and efficiently.
This release of massive quantities of water vapor into the atmosphere accelerates the warming process exponentially.
Within 2 months, the first clouds are spotted. Not the thin, wispy ice clouds of old Mars, but thick, white clouds of water vapor, casting shadows on the ground below.
Soon after, the planet experiences its first rain, a slow, sludgy drizzle in the low-lying basin of Hellas Planitia.
But the most profound transformation is the color. Mars, the red planet, is beginning to blush with a new hue. The dark patches spread, not like water, but like a living organism, consuming the red desert. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the color shifts.
The Perseverance rover, commanded to drive to the edge of one of these patches, sends back images that leave biologists on Earth speechless.
The ground is covered by a cohesive, biological entity, a vast, planetary-scale lichen or microbial crust. It thrives in the now denser atmosphere, protected from the harsh radiation of space.
It is a living skin, and it is spreading at a rate of several kilometers per day.
From orbit, the view is breathtaking. The process follows the ancient, dried-up waterways, a ghostly memory now made real. It climbs the slopes of the tallest volcanoes in the solar system.
Mars is being terraformed not by machines, but by a biology so aggressive and efficient it operates like a technology.
A climatologist, presenting a sequence of global Martian images to a panel at the United Nations, ends his...
It is a view of a planet reborn, a mottled sphere of green and brown, brilliant white clouds, and the glint of liquid water. We have spent decades dreaming of terraforming Mars. We theorized it would take centuries, millennia.
Using all the industrial might of humanity. We were wrong.
The right biology can do it in months. Mars is no longer a future prospect for life. It is a living world.
The question now is, whose world is it?
Stortus. The macro-level transformation of Mars is a spectacle of impossible scale. But to truly understand, the rover, a machine built to hunt for the ghosts of ancient life, is given a new, urgent directive from a unified planet Earth.
Its original mission is abandoned. The new objective is simple and absolute. Touch it, sample it, and tell us what it is.
The journey is a short one, only a few hundred meters, but it is a traverse between epochs. A journey from a world of geology and radiation into a world of biology. The surface is not a plant. It is a lattice of glowing, translucent filaments, pulsing with a slow, rhythmic blue light.
The microphones pick up a low hum emanating from it, the sound of 1 trillion microscopic engines at work.
The moment of first contact is broadcast live to a rapt global audience. The image that appears on screens is the most profound in human history. It is a living circuit board.
The command is given. A sample will be taken.
The organism is aware. It has reacted.
The sample is withdrawn and deposited into the rover's sophisticated, shielded laboratory.
The world waits. For 2 hours, the rover is silent as it performs its analysis.
Lasers read its elemental composition. X-rays map its molecular structure.
The first data packet arrives back on Earth. It confirms the presence of organic compounds. A monumental discovery. But the second data packet shatters every paradigm of biology. It has found genetic material. But it is not our life. It is a fundamentally different operating system. The final piece of the puzzle comes from the microscopic imagers. The sample is a symbiotic superorganism.
First, a fixer microbe that ingests the Martian soil, breaking down minerals.
Second, a processor that converts these minerals into nutrients without need for sunlight. And the breather, which consumes these nutrients and exhales a breathable atmosphere as waste.
The entire mat is a single, planetary-scale creature whose sole purpose is to eat a dead planet and excrete a living one. The announcement is made not by a politician, but by the elderly head of astrobiology at the Max Planck Institute.
Today, we are not alone.
We have received the first signal from an extraterrestrial intelligence. But the signal was not a radio wave, it was life itself. The quiet solitude of the cosmos has been shattered forever.
We are a species with a neighbor. The question of, are we alone, has been answered.
But it has been replaced by 1,000 more, each more daunting than the last. The discovery of microbial life, while paradigm-shattering, is in some ways a comforting one. It is alien, but it is simple. But the gardeners of 3i/Atlas did not just plant a lawn. They an entire ecosystem.
The process does not follow the slow, meandering path of Darwinian evolution.
Once the threshold is met, a new phase begins. A new set of instructions is executed.
They are not leaves. They are crystalline structures, like delicate glass antennas.
They are the first plants, though they bear little resemblance to terrestrial botany.
All across the planet, from the glowing nodes, new structures emerge. Their function is not primarily photosynthetic. They are atmospheric processors, living air scrubbers, and oxygen factories. They dramatically accelerate the atmospheric transformation. The sky itself begins to change color.
As atmospheric pressure increases, water no longer instantly boils away. A northern ocean, long hypothesized, is reborn.
The second trigger is the formation of stable bodies of liquid water. The moment the water achieves a certain salinity and depth, the microbial mat beneath it activates a new set of instructions.
From the seafloor, vast, crystalline forests begin to grow. And among them, something new appears. Movement. The first multicellular animals of the new Mars. They are the ecosystem's first janitors, cleaning the water and concentrating nutrients. Six-legged grazers, scraping nutrient-rich algae from the crystalline surfaces. The evolutionary cascade accelerates. The appearance of the crawlers triggers the emergence of predators. The proliferation of the crystal flora on land gives rise to the first herbivores. And where there are herbivores, predators will follow.
The crystal forests, some now dozens of meters tall, pulse with a soft, internal light.
The new ocean teems with a complex food web, a world of its own.
Within 5 years, Mars is a riot of alien life.
It is a complete, functioning ecosystem, but one that feels unnervingly designed.
Imagine if every stage of Earth's evolution was stored on a single hard drive.
There are no evolutionary dead ends. Every new life form has a specific role, a clear purpose. On Earth, that data was read slowly, randomly, over 4 billion years. On Mars, the play button was pressed.
The garden is now in full, terrifying bloom.
We are not watching evolution. We are watching a deployment. And humanity, the silent observers on the neighboring world.
15 years. In the lifespan of a planet, it is less than a single heartbeat. In the lifespan of Mars, it was the time it took to be reborn.
Must now confront the birth of a rival biosphere. The Mars of 2040 is a world our ancestors would not recognize. Its most profound change is the water. This moisture falls as rain and snow over the highlands, feeding the Great Canyon systems.
The Northern Ocean now drives a global weather engine. Moisture is lifted into the sky, forming vast cloud banks.
For the first time in eons, a river, a true, flowing, planet-spanning river, courses through the canyon. Mars has rivers, it has lakes, it has seas, it has a complete, stable hydrological cycle. The sky is no longer a faint haze. The relentless oxygen production has built a thick, robust atmosphere. This new environment is home to an ecosystem that has moved far beyond its initial programming. The oceans are no longer a simple food chain. Great leviathans, the apex predators of this new life, has begun to adapt and specialize. Crystalline predators now patrol the skies, while vast, gentle filter feeders drift on the high winds. They navigate by sonar and bioluminescence, masters of a realm of cold and darkness. But perhaps the most significant development is the emergence of intelligence. Not technological, but biological. The microbial mat that forms the foundation of the entire ecosystem has evolved. It is now a planet-wide neural network. The pulsing blue lights are data, flowing across continents. The mat manages the planet's climate with a precision that seems conscious. If a region becomes too dry, the mat signals the local flora to release more moisture, creating rain.
If a species becomes too numerous, the mat releases pheromones that inhibit its reproduction.
Mars is not just a planet with life on it. The planet is the life.
It is a single, superorganism, a Gaian intelligence of immense complexity.
Who would dare set foot on a world that is, itself, a conscious being?
The project of sending humans to Mars, once the grandest ambition of our species, is now on hold.
From Earth, humanity watches. The awe has now been joined by a profound, unsettling fear.
The silent, red neighbor has become a vibrant, blue-green stranger.
And its inscrutable intelligence is a constant, unnerving presence, just one planet away.
Through sheer luck, a few of the smallest fragments from the perihelion event were captured in Earth's own gravity well, becoming temporary micromoons. Our rovers, our orbiters, are now just insignificant metal bugs crawling on the skin of a god.
15 years of observation have answered the question of what happened to Mars. But the more profound question, how?
Daring robotic missions were launched to retrieve these precious samples, to bring back a piece of the machine that rebuilt a world.
The analysis becomes the most important intellectual and existential quest of our time.
The conclusion is staggering. 3I/Atlas was not a ship in the conventional sense. These fragments, combined with the continuous stream of data from Mars, would allow scientists to reverse engineer the gardener's blueprint. Deep within the original object was a Genesis core, a quantum biological computer. It was a biological von Neumann probe, a self-replicating machine made of organic, computational matter. It did not run on silicon and electricity, but on the entanglement of molecules. It contained the entire blueprint for the Martian ecosystem. This is why the evolution was so rapid. It was the unfolding of a pre-existing, fully formed biological reality. This knowledge forces humanity to confront the nature of the gardeners themselves. Who were they? The terraforming bombs were miracles of nanotechnology. Each fragment contained a logic gate that sampled the local conditions upon impact. It wasn't a blanket seeding. It was a high-precision, geographically aware deployment. A customized solution at a planetary scale. In this view, the probes are their legacy. A final, monumental act of cosmic altruism.
They are the cosmic John Appleseeds, who saw a universe filled with barren rocks and sought to fill it with gardens.
But a darker, more unsettling theory gains traction among military and strategic analysts. The efficiency of the system, its ruthless optimization, suggests a different motive. This is not the gentle art. Perhaps the probes are not spreading life for its own sake, but are preparing worlds for future colonization. The new Martian life might simply be a disposable biome, designed to be cleared away by the true colonists when they arrive. This theory ignites a new kind of fear. We are no longer just neighbors to a strange new world.
We are potential obstacles.
The term Genesis machine enters the public lexicon. It represents a power that is both creative and terrifying. We are the noisy, unpredictable natives living next door to a pristine, valuable piece of real estate being prepared by an unseen, powerful landlord. And humanity, with its nuclear weapons, is like a tribe brandishing spears in the face of an entity. For 2 decades, humanity's relationship with Mars has been one of passive, distant observation.
The technology of 3I/Atlas demonstrates that a planet is not a fixed thing. It is programmable.
The analysis of the blueprint has not made us feel safer. It has revealed the truths. The largest fragment, the object that carried the Genesis core itself, did not dissolve. It lies deep within its goal: descend through the violent atmosphere, land at the primary impact site, and find the source of the anomalies.
After years of debate, a decision is made. Humanity must know what lies at the heart of the new Mars.
The descent of Orpheus is a harrowing ordeal, broadcast live across 2 worlds.
It has landed in the heart of the storm, in the center of the mystery.
The probe is battered by winds and alien rain, its heat shield glowing as it plunges into the dense lower atmosphere. The descent of Orpheus is a harrowing ordeal, broadcast live across 2 worlds. Retro rockets fire, slowing its final descent into the basin's misty, glowing floor. The probe is battered by winds and alien rain, its heat shield glowing as it plunges into the dense lower atmosphere. It survives. Parachutes deploy, fighting the storm. It has landed in the heart of the storm, in the center of the mystery.
The view is surreal. A forest of glowing, crystalline cathedrals.
It survives. Parachutes deploy, fighting the storm. Retro rockets fire, slowing its final descent into the basin's misty, glowing floor. But directly ahead, in the center of the crater, is something that does not belong.
The spire is not a remnant. It is a beacon. It is a transmitter.
The life of Mars instinctively knows to keep its distance.
Intricate, geometric patterns of pure white light begin to flow.
The patterns depict the fundamental constants of physics, the universal greeting of a scientific intelligence. As the probe cautiously approaches, the surface of the spire comes alive.
A star map with a single point of origin highlighted, a place so far away.
And then, a new pattern emerges. A simple, repeating message carried on the neutrino pulse. The final transmission. An equation that seems to unify quantum mechanics and general. Then, the patterns shift, showing the blueprint of the life they created. It takes weeks for humanity's best to decipher it. When they do, the message is simple, clear, and chilling.
And third, we return. It contains only 3 concepts. First, we sow.
Second, we observe. the time it will take for our solar system to complete one full orbit around the galactic center. The spire is not a library. It is a monitoring station. The gardeners are not extinct.
The gardeners are coming back, and they will arrive in approximately 2
Mars is not a gift. It is a long-term investment, and the purpose of that investment is still terrifyingly unknown. The final line of the message provides the timescale, a countdown, not in years, but in astronomical cycles. Zolzun, the message from the Hellas Spire changes everything, not in a single cataclysmic event, but in a slow...
It is a relief, because the immediate threat is gone. There will be no alien ships in our children's life.
230 million years. The timescale is so immense, it is both a relief and a burden of impossible weight. Humanity, for the first time in its fractious history, has a single, unifying, long-term goal: to be ready. But it is a burden, because it is not an escape. It is a challenge, a cosmic final exam. It leads to breakthroughs in energy, propulsion, and our understanding of space-time itself.
We do not go to Mars. The living planet is left to evolve on its own. A sister world.
It serves as a constant reminder of a power greater than ourselves. Ultimately, the path of wisdom prevails. The equation from the spire unlocks a new age of human potential. Instead, we turn our energies outward. The solar system becomes our laboratory and our canvas.
What does ready mean? For decades, humanity debates. Do we prepare for war, or do we prepare for dialogue?
We send probes to the nearest stars, no longer just looking for life, but for knowledge, for allies.
The very concept of human society shifts. Short-term goals become secondary to the great project.
Humanity begins to think not in years or decades, but in millennia and mega-years.
Education, scientific research, and interstellar exploration become the highest callings of our species.
We are cultivating our own garden, the garden of human consciousness. In preparation
For most of history, we thought the universe was silent, and we were alone. We were wrong.
The message of 3I/Atlas, the promise of the gardener's return, was not a threat. It was the ultimate.
The final scene of our story takes place not in a control room, but in a classroom, a century after the discovery of the spire.
A teacher stands before a group of children, born in a solar system that is no longer empty.
When you were left alone in the dark, what did you learn to become? They are coming back. And our task, for all the millions of years we have been given,
what marvels did you build?
What beauty did you create?
when we return, what will you have to show us?
The long, patient work of a new humanity has just begun.
The dawn is over.